What's up YouTube, Xander the Legend here today with another deck tech of Jeskai Black. If you like expensive cards and expensive mana bases, this is the deck for you. This is actually one of my favorite decks to play, however, it doesn't see play as much as I'd like due to, well, there's so many other great decks to be playing right now. A lot of this is going to rotate during Shadows, so if you want to play it, now's the time. For Jace Vryn's Prodigy, because you can tell we got some spells going on, we got some delve going on. Jace is the perfect card for that. Allows us early game card advantage, and yeah, Jace has proven his worth 10 times over, and that's why I have mine foiled out. 4 Soulfire Grandmasters are going to be doing a lot of damage throughout combat. This gives us some early game advantage as far as gaining some extra life. He has lifelink himself, instant sorcery spells you control have lifelink, and also he does have an ability for 2 and a double blue or double red. For the next time you cast an instant sorcery spell from your hand, it can return to your hand instead of the graveyard. Little costy, sometimes you have to do it, typically you don't. 2 Mentors, because we are casting a lot of spells. A Monster's Mentor is good enough for Modern, he's good enough for Standard. Actually, he doesn't see play in Modern, he sees play in Legacy. But, if he sees play in Legacy, he's good enough for Standard. Goblin Dark Dwellers, really cool card, lets us hit any of our 3 mana cost spells, which is pretty much all of them except for 4. So there's a good chance we're going to be able to get something else out of the graveyard as well and recast it. One of the tricks of Goblin Dark Dwellers, once we read the card, it's 5 mana cost for a 4/4 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying for its mana cost. If that card will be put in your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Now, it doesn't say we have to play the spell this turn, so very thing to keep in mind with there. 1 Kel'Thas, Trader of Regret, gives us some more lifelink, gives us that survivability to get to late games, and some annoying zombie tokens for them to deal with. 4 Fiery Impulses, nothing's better to get rid of a Jace or some other small creatures like Soulfire Grandmasters, Monastery Mentors, etc, etc. 2 damage, possibly 3, most of the time in this deck it's 3 damage. 2 Duresses when we need to see our opponent's hand and kind of see what's going on. A 1 of Roast, 5 damage is always good to a non-flying creature. 1 Disdainful Stroke to block something big from happening. 2 Golgan's Command, gives us some card advantage, deals some damage, makes players discard, can do a lot of different things, even destroy artifacts, not that it's too big in Standard right now. 4 Crackling Dooms is the real powerhouse here. This gets rid of any of their biggest, toughest creature. They have to sacrifice it and take 2 damage. We're going to be flashing back Crackling Dooms as a priority most of the time, with Jace or with the Goblin Dark Dwellers. 2 Painful Truths down here when we need that extra card draw. Us taking some damage is not a big deal because of the Soulfire Grandmasters and Kel'Thas. 1 Ruinous Path whenever we need to destroy a Planeswalker or a creature, possibly even awaken a land, just depending how late in the game it is. A Murderous Cut to enjoy some of that delve. 2 Dig Through Times, nothing's better than drawing cards, so being able to delve away 6 and just pay double blue for this at the end of the opponent's turn, very solid instant ability. And a 1 of Chandra Flamecaller. She's going up, she's good. She sees play in the green-red Eldrazi build with ramp. Being able to pay for 6 mana for 2 hasted 3/1s is actually pretty good, we're finding out. Going into the mana base, this is where the deck gets even more expensive if you made it past the Jaces. 4 Polluted Deltas, one of the most expensive. I don't think it's the most expensive right now, but it was. Flooded Strands are expensive, and then 1 Bloodstained Mire. Not too bad on the fetch lands, running the same amount of fetch lands as Black Red Dragons is. You can always add and take away more fetch lands too if you want more delve. So definitely have some other options for this deck. 2 Shambling Vents. Gotta love a land that gives us a life tap ability. Life tap? Life gain. I don't even know what I'm talking about now. 2 Wandering Fumoils. This is a great card. That's the reason it's the most expensive man land at the moment. Pretty cheap. I'd probably get a hold of them while you can. Being able to do 4/1 creature on a turn, very handy. 2 Mystic Monasteries, just to give us that extra mana, depending what color we need. Lots of different battle lands. 2 Smoldering Marshes, 1 Canopy Vista, 1 Prairie Stream, and 1 Sunken Hollow. This just lets us fetch for the right colors we need. Kind of critical in this deck. Same thing being critical is getting our battle lands coming into play untapped. So we have 2 Swamps, 2 Mountains, 2 Plains, and an Island. This is the way I run my Jeskai Black, and now let's go into the sideboard. Welcome back to the Jeskai Black sideboard. As you can tell, just like the deck, we've got plenty of options for our sideboard. Probably one of the most confusing things to playing Jeskai Black is knowing what to take in, what to take out, and doing it in a timely manner. I'm just going to go over the cards real quick, and not really going to go over when you take them in or take them out too much for this video, but 1 Dispel to counter target instant spell, 1 Disdainful Stroke, which we'll be losing here soon at the rotation, counter target spell converted mechanics 4 or greater. Still can keep all 3 negates to counter a target non-creature spell. Best for collected companies, rallies, planeswalkers, that sort of thing. We got 1 Infinite Obliteration, really nice if you're playing the mono green Eldrazi ramp deck. 1 Roast to do that 5 damage to a land creature. 2 Radiant Flames just to deal however much damage we need to. Typically we're going to be casting it for 3 damage. 1 Seismic Rupture to get rid of all tokens. It deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. Not really going to hurt our creatures too much. And if they do flood the board and we got a Soulfire Grandmaster, casting a Seismic Rupture can possibly gain us, 10 to 20 life depending how many creatures we're hitting. 1 Undered End, just another way to get rid of non-land permanents like Planeswalkers. Another Kalthos Trader Get if we need to bring him in for more life gain, or just have another creature on the board. 1 Exert Influence, this gives us the ability to take control of a target creature if its power is less than or equal to the number of colors spent to cast it. We can hit all the colors to cast it except for green, so this is always a good option. Ob Nixilis Reignited, removal, card advantage, we're really not worried about life. Great card in this. You can actually do probably 2 of in the sideboard if you wanted to. Kind of just depends how many of those you want to be playing. 1 more Chandra. She's proven her worth. She's good here again. But as always, some of the critical parts of this deck is our Monk tokens and our emblems. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck tech review of standard Jeskai Black for Oath of the Gatewatch. If you did, like and leave a comment down below so I can continue to do deck techs in the future. And talk back to me. I'd like to hear back what you guys thought about this deck, what you do differently in your Jeskai Black, or if this is a deck you completely hate. Thanks for watching.